Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Entertainment Expansion. We are your hosts, Tyler Callahan and Mike Ferrante. Mike, how you doing this week?
Well, Tyler, it's been a long day, but I guess at the end of the day, I'm chilling.
That's nice. Were you able to relive your childhood this weekend? Just a little
I
bit?
did. And I have one conclusion, but we'll get at my conclusion at our conclusion.
Yep. If you are listening to this, months in the future or whatever, this weekend, Toy Story 4 came out. The movie no one wanted, but the movie we deserve.
Correct.
So, for anyone who is unaware of Toy Story, it is would you say it is the key franchise for Pixar?
I'd say it's definitely the franchise that really put Pixar on the map.
It did. It is there, and I think you can tell between this and Incredibles 2, for an example, whenever they come back to Toy Story, they put their best work forward. This is I would say their key franchise. Like, if there is one set of movies this studio is known for, it's Toy Story.
Oh, absolutely.
So, Toy Story 4, almost 10 years since the last one. People thought, hey, third one ended perfectly. Pixar's like, we got another story to tell. People were a bit apprehensive, and understandably, we don't know the full details. Maybe Disney came in knocking, we need Toy Story money. But the movie came out, and I don't know about you, Mike, but I liked it.
I did too. I mean, it got me in the feels a little bit.
It did.
There are not many movies that make me like well up a little bit. Like, I'm not saying I full on cry, but there were a couple moments where I was just like, oh, right in the heart.
Yeah, they definitely know in this one how to tug at your heartstrings a bit. I guess I'll put the notice here. From here on out, we will be going more into spoilers discussion. So if you have not seen the movie, there will be some things that are kind of a spoiler, especially about the ending, which I assume we both have thoughts about. So again, if you don't care about it, please continue listening or watch the movie first and come back.
We are all sails loose, full spoilers ahead.
Yeah, because a main part of this movie is how this movie ends.
Correct.
But I guess let's break it down piece by piece. What I liked first was the new characters. I did not have an issue with any of the new characters. Key and Peele as Bunny and Ducky were fantastic. I think they provided the best comedic scene in the movie with the plush rush.
It was funny, but Buzz had a lot of funny moments in this movie.
Oh no. While they had the best moment, Buzz absolutely brought consistent laugh with his inner voice.
Oh yeah, and then Keanu Reeves showed it as well, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's get into it right now. I loved Bunny and Ducky, but yeah, Duke Kaboom, Keanu Reeves.
Oh yeah,
that was fucking funny.
That was honestly priceless. A lot of the stuff he was doing.
And he is Canadian, right?
Keanu Reeves technically is Canadian.
Okay.
It's a little bit of a weird one because he's kind of like all over the map. He was born in Liberia, I think, something like that. But he grew up. He also spent like a long, maybe 3 years in Sydney, Australia. Then he moved to Manhattan for a couple of years. Then he moved to Canada, where he maintains his Canadian citizenship as well as the U.S. So technically, he is Canadian, but at the same time, he's not really Canadian.
Yeah, he's kind of like international.
Yeah. Basically, Keanu Reeves doesn't belong to anybody. He belongs to everybody. Just the way you would think
Keanu Reeves belongs to Keanu Reeves.
Correct. He's the man of the people. Hence why his citizenship everywhere.
That's right. But yeah, Duke Kaboom was great. And for a side character, you actually, the backstory they gave him, was actually at times a little sad.
It was honestly really funny because it was basically the Evel Knievel toy knockoff. Because it was the same commercial for the Evel Knievel toy, except it was just the Canadian version. And that's what made it so funny. It was a direct Evel Knievel knockoff, but it played it out so well, and it really lived up for the comedic purposes.
So yeah, the hell. Oh, how can I forget fucking Forky? Even Forky was good.
He was trash.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean that montage of him continuously trying to get rid of himself and Woody just basically being a parent or a babysitter. Yeah, it's
which
another
was
good
also
moment in this movie.
sad. That was also a very sad moment too, where Woody's like, spoiler, this is all I have left because he's not the golden toy anymore. Bonnie doesn't care about him.
Yeah, yeah. We'll
He
get into that in a bit, but yeah, that this movie, while we're talking about how funny the characters are, this really hits on some like heavy themes about life.
absolutely.
But before we get into a deeper talk about that, Mike, we talked about the all new characters are pretty good. What else did you like about the movie?
I like how they low key introduced the horror element into it.
Yeah, they dropped that in here and there in the movie.
I mean, when it comes to what was her name? Gabby
Gabby Gabby.
yeah, Gabby and her minions were terrifying.
Oh yeah, those weird dolls.
Yeah, like if you've ever watched Goosebumps or Dead Silence, those classic dummies that have the mouths that drop open and the wobbly eyes that are just horrifying to look at regularly. They're also in this movie, and they
And
are
yeah,
just as terrible,
now they're actually doing evil stuff.
pretty much.
Yeah, that and the going back to the plush rush, the last one was like it had a big payoff for a joke, but it kind of like teased, like it was kind of like a tease of a horror movie, right? The old lady going back by herself, checking behind her.
Well, that wasn't the last plush rush. The last plush rush was. Oh, did you watch the end credits?
Oh no, I did. I mean, if we're talking about yes, the last one where they turn into, you know, laser beam
Giant.
monsters, all right, then yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, technically, if we're going with the actual movie, you didn't sit through all the credits, which it's definitely worth it to sit through.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, the Plush Rush was. Yeah, they're basically saying that they're going to kill her.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm not surprised Pixar went there. I'm kind of surprised Disney was like, okay.
Yeah, because they didn't actually show it. Mostly the adult viewers would get it. Because
Yeah.
adult viewers have seen horror movies with the kids, they won't really know what's fully going on like
But it
that.
got like progressively worse. Like the first two were like, okay, we're gonna grab her and like bash her head in to get the keys, and the last one is we're gonna stalk her and then kill her in her bed.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. I mean, that's what you get with Key and Peele, so
Yeah,
not
technically.
surprising. I think before we move on, I think to the last part, which will be about the ending and the theme and all that. And I really enjoyed this movie, but my main issue with it is new characters are great. The comedy is great. Even a little bit of action in there is great. The fact that they had to sideline everyone else except Woody and Buzz for this to happen did disappoint me.
Yeah, but you can't fit everyone in at once. They did have their moments when they needed to.
I feel the only one that had their moment was Jesse.
Yeah, Jessie had her moment, but
I mean, what did Rex do?
also
What
Rex
Mr.
was
Potato
just
Head
there
do?
to get his eyes and nose popped out because of Rex.
Cool. Because, like, I did see a couple of reviews like, oh, yeah, the old toys aren't in as that much, but they have their moment. No, they fucking don't.
Mrs. Potato
No,
Head.
like very few had a moment. 90% of them were just sitting in that RV the entire movie.
Yeah.
And I get it. This is um, this is Woody's story. If we want to be serious about this, this is a Woody movie, so I
Oh,
get it.
absolutely.
But if this is truly is going to be the last one, which may or may not, depending on
It
how
probably.
they want to go, if this is the last one, I feel there should have been a bit more for the toys.
Yeah. I mean, it also goes with the ending as well, which was really sad.
Yeah. Um,
So, are we ready to get into that?
yeah. I mean, if you have it, do you have any downside about the movie or anything else before we get into it?
Just that they sideline Woody, man. Like Woody, man, they really just kind of threw him to the side. Like he was the star, but he was thrown to the side. Quite literally, was thrown to the side.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So let's get into it. The ending throughout the movie, Woody has held the belief that the best thing for a toy is to have an owner and to do the best they can for that owner. Bo Peep, after being passed around from owner to owner and then being left in the store, finds her freedom and feels that the toy should they decide to be free, is also a good option to live. You don't have to beg or try to find an owner and keep them happy. So
Yeah.
we have this debate that goes on through the entire movie, and by the end of it, Woody decides the best thing for him is to become, I guess, called a free toy. He will help other toys with Bo Peep and travel around because he realizes that, yes, his main owner was Andy, but with the new girl, Bonnie,
She liked him for a little bit.
yeah, it was a phase, but they've hinted it. But Jessie, because Jessie's a girl cow, cowgirl and all that. Bonnie feels a stronger connection to Jessie and her other toys. Woody is a side toy, not that interested anymore, and Woody understands that you can't keep forcing yourself into this. You're only
Yeah.
forcing yourself in because you're keeping Forky, which is her favorite toy right now. Once Forky is not popular anymore, you're also back to being unpopular. So I think the movie did a good job of bringing up the message of in life you have to know when it's time to move on, be it in a relationship, in a job, or life changes when it's time to move on. And I think that's a good subject for really a kids movie to break down.
Yeah, I agree. Another point which I really want to bring up, and this is where we're gonna get into this.
Okay.
Bonnie doesn't deserve Andy's toys.
I mean, I've seen that debate online and kind of agree, kind of disagree. I agree on the idea because we've grown up with these characters, with these movies, and if we go in universe, Andy's grown up with these toys. They do
Yeah,
deserve better, especially Woody. Woody does not go through all that bullshit in the first three movies just to be tossed aside. I agree.
yeah,
But if you look at it realistically, from a kid's point of view, you have this random stranger come up to you with like 20 different toys. One of them you really like, you don't like that much anymore, but you do play with most of the toys. So can't also she's what, kindergarten, 4, 5, you know?
yeah.
Like Mike, how many toys were you playing with, say 4 or 5 that you were playing when you were say 6 or 7? You know,
Well, we're gonna
if
get into this.
if you can remember.
I can remember I stuck with a few toys with a lot of my childhood, and it may varied between certain ones, but I always stuck with my Batman.
Okay.
Probably the last toy I played with.
Well, I'm just like you. I did have a few toys I kept, longer than a year or two. They stuck with me for years out. It would be for me, it was some Dragon Ball figures, but also the Bionicle from Lego specifically. Always loved building those.
Yeah,
But yeah, but Mike, do you think they handled the topic well? Like the theme of
yes.
moving on.
What they're trying to accomplish, absolutely. They handled that spot on. Did it hurt me to see it? Absolutely.
It hurt me to see it, but I was also angry about it as well.
Oh yeah, because like Woody did everything in his power, not just to stay relevant, but to be loyal to the kid. Even though he wasn't the favorite toy, he was going to do everything in his power to make sure that she was okay.
Yep.
But also, I feel like that never changed throughout the movie. He was a lost toy in the beginning of the movie. He was the forgotten toy. He was always thrown to the side, not
Yeah,
picked,
he was in the closet.
so to speak. Yes. So he continued that by leaving, and when Buzz said she's going to be fine, no, Bonnie's going to be fine. You need to do your own thing, which is kind of messed up because Buzz knew, like, yeah, Bonnie's never going to play with you.
Yeah, but he's trying to like help break it down for a friend, like
Of course, because at the end of the day, Bonnie never realized when Woody was missing,
no.
ever.
Nope.
Only when Forky was missing. So, and he's still continuing to do that. He's still giving these toys new owners by the end of it, where
Yeah, going to
sacri-
that, I
he'd
liked how there was no
sacrifice.
villain in the movie, really.
Yeah, kind of.
Like Gabby and the dolls were antagonists, but like you just said at the end, helping, toys find new owners at the end, being able to help Gabby find what she was looking for in someone that cares about her, you know.
Yeah, and even though she took his voice box and in her words, her last chance at finding a nice owner ran out.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, no, I've got someone else. Like, there's more than just one chance. And then she sees the little girl that's at the carnival and she's lost, and she knows that that's where she needs to go. Even though this Gabby harassed him, threatened him, and basically forcefully removed his voice box, he was still going the extra mile to make sure that she found a good home. Because yes, she was a villain, but she was a villain with a cause. She just wanted an owner to love her.
Yeah, also, she stuck to her word. She took the voice box, could have thrown Woody or had the dolls kill him, but nope. Just took the voice box, gave Forky back, okay, bye. You know?
Yep.
Like, definitely not a villain in the sense of I forget the pink puff doll from the one that smelled like strawberries from Toy Story 3. Forget his name, but like he was just a dickhead throughout the entire movie.
Oh yeah.
But what made me angry about the ending was that I felt it was cut short for no reason. Right? Everyone's getting their final words in. It's a nice sad moment, and then the RV's working again. Well, we gotta go now. It's like I feel like there's no need for that. Extend the scene for another 2-3 minutes. Let Woody say his proper goodbyes, and that's it. It's like I was starting to get more emotional there, and then it's just cut short. RV's gone, and movie's over.
Because it was mostly emotional because of Woody and Buzz. He only had that proper goodbye.
Yeah, but I feel he should have had a more substantial goodbye to the rest of the toys. Like,
absolutely. Like Rex, Mr.
Potato
Head.
Like the OG toys, Potato Head, Rex. From the first movie, very little, if anything.
Yep.
I'm happy. Woody and Buzz got their main goodbye, right? Because they're the main two characters. But still, it's just something. Handshake, hug. Maybe not a handshake because Rex tiny hands, but.
How about even Jesse? There was barely, there was.
Yeah. No, there was compared to the rest, but it was like full goodbye to Buzz, quick goodbye to Jesse, everyone else, bye.
Yep.
I'm out. Because that's the thing, if you look in context, they've been together for almost 20 years at this point, right?
Yeah.
And I'm missing for 2 days in a carnival. Turns out I found Bo Peep. I'm going to be with her and these new toys and see you. Probably never see you again. I left a bad taste in my mouth.
It did.
Because if this is the last Toy Story movie, then just extend it a few minutes and give it a proper ending.
I agree. But let's be serious. It's probably not going to be the last one.
No, they can split it off in one of two ways. Do you feel they're going to focus on Buzz, Jesse, and the rest of the toys, or Woody and the new toys?
I feel like the more interesting route would be Woody and the new toys. You realistically could do both. Have a Woody spin-off movie, Woody and Bo, or Bo and Woody, one of the two, and then you could have a Toy Story 5.
Yeah, because I feel like if they wanted to, they could retire Woody as a character, right? He's off to the sidelines, and you have, say, Buzz and Jesse leading the toys, and who knows, maybe it's a year or two in the future, Bonnie has a new interest in toys, and they have to deal with that group of new toys. Kind of like a Toy Story 1 redone, where Andy got more into sci-fi, space stuff, and got Buzz because of it.
Yeah.
Could do something like that. But you're right. The more original idea would be going through a, lost toy group, helping other toys out. That'd be something fresh.
I feel like the smarter move would be a Toy Story spin-off before you do the whole Toy Story 5.
Okay. Yeah, I guess.
Just
and
because...
with their Disney Plus service, I could see them doing, because they're doing this with Monsters Inc. as well, they could do a limited run Toy Story spinoff, maybe like a short TV show, high production, focusing on one of these, and then years down the road, a Toy Story 5.
Yeah.
Because in case anyone hasn't noticed, Disney's releasing a lot of movies this year, and they're releasing a lot of movies this year for their Disney Plus streaming service. They have almost nothing coming out next year. So, fuck it, why not a Toy Story limited TV show as a spinoff?
Yeah, it would make sense.
It could work.
Honestly, now that you bring that point up, I feel that the whole Adventures of Bo and Woody would probably be the spin-off show.
I think it would be. Because if you want to have a big cast, which they usually do, 3 had a big cast of toys, and 4, even if they were sidelined, the Woody gang is pretty small now. And I don't think, unless they introduce a lot of new characters, it's not big enough for Toy Story 5. But with Toy
I
Story
agree.
5 with Buzz, you have the old toys with a new group of toys, say Bonnie brings in. It would be a good mix.
Yeah, and an interesting version of Toy Story 5 is maybe the last episode of Bo and Woody. Holy shit. They're
Oh,
back to
maybe,
where they started.
yeah, maybe it ties in. Maybe they get stuck in a box that happens to end up at Bonnie's house.
Yep. Or somehow their journey continues all the way back to the new family that Bonnie now gave the toys to.
See, we're coming up with good ideas here, but part of me just kind of wishes Pixar will be done with this franchise because
Yeah,
this is
I
a
mean,
near perfect franchise, rating wise. Like Rotten Tomatoes, it's like over 95% for every single one. Everyone, you can't pick a movie here as your favorite and be wrong. If they do what we just said, there's a good chance they'll fuck it up at some point.
yeah, but we did just come up with a pretty solid idea for spin-off TV show and into the next Toy Story 5.
Oh no, we did. We just made enough Toy Story ideas for the next 5 to 10 years.
Or we could even go with to Toy Story 5. The toys have to deal with the fact that kids, which is realistically, they aren't interested in toys anymore. They're too focused on their iPads, iPhones.
Or how about they have to deal with the new set of toys that are technology based, like that ball that you can control with your phone.
Or the
What
Legos
if that
that you
ball's sentient
oh,
and doesn't like being moved around?
there are a lot of options that can be done.
Especially since apparently if you just put a kid's name on something that looks like a toy, it comes to life. I don't know how we avoided talking about that, but does that mean like if I put a name on anything and I think it's a toy, does it come to life?
Hopefully.
And it's sentient enough to know what